Isn't it absolutely amazing that God, who gives breath to man, who's going to blaspheme him all the day long, the sovereign judge in the universe, allowed himself to be illegally condemned? This profound paradox of the cross, the Creator, suffering at the hands of his creation, the innocent condemned by the guilty, the source of all life submitting to death, reveals the incomprehensible depth of divine love and the unwavering commitment to justice. It is a moment where the infinite condescends to the finite, where perfect holiness meets utter depravity, and where the very fabric of the universe is shaken by the weight of sin and the glory of redemption. The King of Glory, who could summon legions of angels, chose instead to endure humiliation, agony, and the abandonment of his Father, all for the sake of those who rejected him. In view of such an unparalleled, perfect, and all-sufficient sacrifice, how can we possibly consider anything that we do as a sacrifice? Our best efforts, our most devoted service, our deepest acts of self-denial, pale into utter insignificance when measured against the cross of Christ, his sacrifice, unrepeatable and utterly complete, achieving what no human effort ever could, the atonement for sin and the reconciliation of humanity with God. Yet, the New Testament frequently speaks of believers offering sacrifices. This is not to suggest that our actions add anything to Christ's finished work, or that we can somehow earn God's favor. Rather, our sacrifices are a response to his immeasurable grace, an outpouring of gratitude and love for what he has already done. When we consider our actions as sacrifices, we understand them in these ways: a living sacrifice of our lives. As Romans 12 verses 1 and 2 exhorts, we are to present your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable to God, which is your spiritual worship. This means offering our entire being, our time, talents, resources, desires, and ambitions to God's will and purpose. It is a daily surrender of self-interest for the sake of Christ and his kingdom. This sacrifice is not about self-punishment, but about joyful devotion, recognizing that our lives are no longer our own, but have been bought with a price. Hebrews 13 verse 15 speaks of offering a sacrifice of praise to God, that is, the fruit of lips that confess his name. Our worship, our expressions of gratitude, and our public acknowledgement of God's goodness are acts of devotion that honor him. These are sacrifices because they often require intentionality, humility, and a turning away from self-focus to God-focus. Hebrews 13 verse 16 continues, "Do not neglect to do good and to share what you have, for such sacrifices are pleasing to God." When we extend kindness, compassion, and material help to others, especially those in need, we are reflecting the self-giving love of Christ. These acts are sacrifices because they often involve giving up our comfort, time, or resources for the benefit of another, mirroring Christ's own self-emptying, dying to self and taking up our cross. Jesus himself called his followers to take up his cross daily and follow me. Luke 9:23. This is a call to deny our sinful desires, to put to death the old self, and to align our will with God's. This sacrifice is a painful but necessary process of sanctification, where our will is conformed to his, and our lives become a testament to his transforming power. In essence, any sacrifice we make is not a means to earn salvation, but a demonstration of our love for the one who made the ultimate sacrifice. Our small offerings are made meaningful only because they are empowered by his grace, inspired by his example, and presented in light of his perfect, finished work on the cross. We can consider our actions as sacrifices because they are our humble, grateful, and loving response to the incomprehensible reality that God Almighty, the sovereign judge, allowed himself to be illegally crucified for us.